Hello boys, I hope we are all good. Today we have the full mass bidding guide tutorial. This made someone in our Discord. They said they went from 50,000 to 250,000 coins in about 2 days and they're brand new to trading. So I thought, right, let's get the guide out to you boys. This is probably better than sniping in most scenarios. Chem style trading we love, but mass bidding in general is just so good. Let me walk you through what it is, why it works, when to do it, when to buy, when to sell, what to sell for, what to buy for, and then right at the end, the most important bit of the video, I'll go through a list of tips about how you can do mass bidding the most effectively and basically make the most profit from it. So stick around to the end of the video for that. But let's jump into mass bidding and why it is so good. And very quickly, boys, I am unassigned in silvers, 2 million coins in at least. So yeah, I won't be able to actually buy any cards today, but it shouldn't matter. You'll learn all the same. So what is it? Mass bidding is simply mass bidding on cards in the game. So it sounds very obvious, right? But there are loads of little things you need to know, such as what I've just said before, what cards, when to buy, all that good stuff. But essentially, mass bidding is literally bidding on mass. You bid on one or multiple cards en masse, like 50 to 100, and then sell them en masse, and you rinse and repeat it. It's a small profit mass method that is so good if you're new to trading, not sure what you're doing, or especially if you're low on coins, it can be amazing as well. Why it works is for two main reasons. One, when picking up cards like this Hawk chemistry style, right? People don't often look at bids when they are buying these cards. They'll just buy them, which means bids go under the radar. So let's say a Hawk sells for about 800 coins. I think I'm right in saying it's somewhere in that region. We look 700 coins, right? Which means you can guarantee you can win bids on this card for about 500, 600 coins easily. So that sounds like not a lot of profit, but still we've got steps to go. Don't worry, right? But essentially the point is you can win them easily. That's why it's mass bidding. You're not going into a bidding war over one or two cards. You're bidding on loads of these cards and winning 90% of them. That's how the method works, right? The second reason it works is for something called lazy selling. Most of you guys watching will know what lazy selling is. If you don't know, it's basically listing a card for more than what it sells for and a lazy buyer buying it because they are lazy and can't be asked to go find the actual price. So essentially, a Hawk here, let's say 700 coins. Loads of these Hawks at 800 to 850 will sell. You can probably even get sales at 900, 950. Probably not much more than that, but you know, you can get sales a couple hundred coins above what it actually sells for on the market. So if you combine these two things together, you get a really nice profit gap, like when you combine the buying and the selling. You do that en masse and the coins stack up quick. So that's why it works. In terms of when this works, there are two different times I would absolutely abuse this method, okay? Right, a really important bit of the video is what cards to use. Let me go through every single card that I love to mass bid on, right? Starting with player chemistry styles, these are great. These do really well overnight UK and after rewards that we spoke about. The ones that you like are just anything that has value. Anything that has value, it needs to be above like 500 coins to make any good coins from this. So Hawk is one. Make sure it sells at the time. Prices will change. Above 500 coins is at 700. That is great. Engine normally works as well. I think Engine's quite expensive at the minute. Maybe it's 1,500 coins. It got up in price because of the Progress BC. 1,500 coins, that's got value. You can do Shadows and Hunters. I like these two less because they're just so popular. And with Hunters specifically, at the minute, there's none on the market, so you can't even bid on them. And Shadows are often very similar. Look, there's none on the market, so you can't bid on them. If they ever come down in price, yes, but right now, no. And then Anchors work really well as well. These have been sitting like up at 3,000 to 4,000 coins recently. So these work amazing as well for some lazy sales. So they're the chemistry styles I like. That is section 1. The next and the most overpowered bit of mass bidding, in my opinion, is manager leagues. The reason is simply because, if you didn't know, you can't search for specific manager leagues like Prem, Bundesliga, whatever it is, on the web app and companion app, which means anyone who's looking to buy a manager league on the web app or on the companion app can't like search for it, so they have to just buy the first one they see, which is why lazy selling works so well. So what I mean by this is, imagine you're just looking to buy a Prem Manager League for your team, right? And you're on the web app. You can't search for Premier League Manager League. You just can't. There's no function for it, which means you have to just search Manager League. And the first Premier League one that comes up at a decent price, you'll probably just buy. So although it only sells for 1.2, 1.3 thousand coins, when you search on the companion or web app, you might just buy one that says 1.7 or 1.8 because it's such a pain in the bum to go and find another one. So they work really well on lazies and they work really well as a mass bid as well. The Manager Leagues, chemistry styles. I'm on this page here because of the number 1 is rewards, and specifically an hour after rewards, right? You can't do this with champions or FUT Champs because there's not a specific time that rewards come out. But with rival rewards that come out at Thursday morning UK at 8 a.m. and then squad battles rewards that come out at Sunday morning 8 a.m. UK. Both of them come out at 8 a.m. UK on those days. An hour after, right? Think about it like this, right? An hour after these times, people open all these rewards, list their cards on open bids, like the Hawks, their consumables, all that good stuff, right? So they list them on open bid. And then I say at 9 a.m., an hour after, the cards are starting to expire. So from 9 till 10 a.m. on both of those days, Sunday and Thursday, UK time, what you have is an unbelievable amount of supply on the market on open bids on all the cards we're going to talk about today. So that's more that there's just so much supply of these cards. The second time is overnight UK, and that's no matter what you're bidding on, right? If you bid on anything overnight UK, rather than being loads of supply on the game, the reason that overnight UK works so well is because there's a lack of demand, right? So it takes advantage of the fact that overnight UK, overnight Europe time, not a lot of people are on the game, so you're competing with like no one on these bids. So there's the same supply throughout the day normally, but you've got no competition on these bids, so you can win way more. Now, the next set of players and things that work well to mass bid on takes a little bit of IQ, takes a little bit of knowledge, right? But I'm sure you'll get there. It's all to do with what we spoke about before with rewards and supply. So, for example, right, if rewards come out at 8 a.m. and we said you're going to start bidding at 9 a.m., think about what is in those rewards. So in terms of squad battles and rivals, there is two main things that come onto the market: fodder and low meta. So they're the two, right? So who's a low meta card? Anything that's maximum a couple thousand coins. Kirkes normally does really well, right? So Kirkes is about 1.6 thousand coins. Let's say squad battles rewards just dropped. Loads of people pack cards like this on the market. So at 9 a.m., an hour after squad battles, go and put loads of bids in on loads of cheap meta, like Kirkes, Ekatike, Inaki Williams, just anything that is cheap meta that does like really well after rewards. And then fodder as well. So fodder is the exact same principle. Think about rival rewards, right? How much fodder do you get in your packs compared to actual, good cards? Same again, 9 a.m. UK after rivals on a Thursday. Go and bid on loads of fodder. That is great. The second one is daily SBC supply and silvers, right? If we ever get tradable silver supply on the game at all, like just any tradable silver supply at 6 o'clock, then from 7 o'clock onwards, you can start bidding, okay? So let's say we get tradable silver supply. What you look to bid on often is silver with a filter in, right? What I mean with a filter in is that, for example, some silvers sell for more than others, right? Premier League silvers all hold some value, right? The minimum price for a Premier League silver is 350, right? Which means that when we get silver supply, you can just put max bid at 200 silver Premier League and go and bid on loads of them. Like I say, only do this after silver supply, and you can do it with any other supply we get on the game, but you just need to adjust what you're bidding for based on supply. So, for example, Friday, 6 o'clock, we normally get huge promo packs. So if we get huge promo packs, often that brings that sort of mid-meta onto the market. So, who's mid-meta? We're looking at someone like Balde, right? Left back, great. He's just above sort of cheap meta at that sort of price, but you can see he's getting to that sort of mid-meta price range. So when we get Friday, 6 o'clock promo packs, this is the type of card that comes onto the market. So let's say at Friday, 6 o'clock, he is about 3.7 thousand coins, somewhere in there. Friday, 6 o'clock drops. Go and bid on these at 3,000 coins en masse at 7 o'clock, right? And it's always an hour after the content. That works really well. Okay, so you know what cards to use, but what do you buy for, or bid for, should I say, when you're mass bidding? Well, let's go into our chemistry style example with anchors. It's a really good one to choose, right? The first thing to know is the more expensive the card is, the more EA tax there's going to be on the card. So therefore, you're going to have to bid cheaper to make the same amount of profit. It's why cheap cards work really well on mass bidding, because they have like no tax, right? So I was doing anchor here. I can see it sells for 3,600 coins, which means if we're talking about lazy selling, I know I can lazy sell this card for up to 3.9 thousand coins, or 3.8, or even 4,000 coins, which after tax is about 3.7 to 3.8 thousand coins, right? So to make a good chunk of coins off these cards, I want to be bidding at least a few hundred coins below, probably somewhere like 3.3 or 3.4 absolute max, okay? There's more tax on this card. You need to make sure you're going even low. I might even go 3.2, right? There's a lot of tax on this card. However, if you're doing a cheaper manager league, right, it's a lot cheaper. So we go to manager league, and I think a really cheap one is often Serie A, is often a few hundred coins. Let's check. It depends on SBCs and all sorts. Actually, that's too cheap. I would not go, like I say, if it's not above 500 coins. If I look at Liga F, that sometimes be a little bit more expensive. Liga F seems perfect, right? As you can see, this holds value at about 750 coins, it looks like, but it's not too expensive, which means you don't need to bid too much below to make good coins off this, because there's no tax, right? So Liga F, for example, is 750 coins. So I would go and throw bids on 600 coins. That is absolutely fine, right? Go and throw a 600 coin bid on every single one of these cards. That's only 150 coins, but you're not looking to sell it for 750. You're looking to lazy sell, especially with these manager leagues. They lazy sell really well. So I know I can lazy sell this all the way up to about 1,000 coins probably, and still get sales quite consistently, which means every single card I'm making around 400 coins profit per card. Because these sell so easy, and there's, it's so easy to get so many of them, 400 coins profit on 100 cards selling is 40k. If you just rinse and repeat that every hour of every day, non-stop, and you sell 200, 300, or 400 cards a day, you're making upwards of 100k a day for something that is so simple, right? This is not sniping, no skill involved. It's very easy, especially on a weekend. This absolutely flies as people got manager leagues on their managers for their FUT Champs teams. So you know what to buy for. You know that you should be lazy selling these cards to make the most amount of profit, right? So you know that now you've got the whole method down, but you need these tips at the end of the video to make the most profit from this as possible. I just want to put a few together to make sure you're really nailing this method. This is how you'll make sort of 100, 200k a day rather than maybe 30 or 40 or 50k a day. So make sure you listen up to these tips, especially if you're new at this method or you haven't done mass bidding before. Number one is make sure you have 100 cards selling at pretty much all times. I know I'm looking at silvers here. That's because that's what I'm unassigned in, like we said at the start of the video. But even with silvers, I'm not looking to sell my silvers right now. But as with so many trading methods, I've still got 100 selling on lazies, and I need 100 selling to make any profit on lazy sales. And as you can see, because I've got 100 selling, I've got some lazy sales here already, right? So make sure you have 100 cards selling at all times when you're doing mass bidding. It's the only way you're going to get a lot of sales. Number two is diversify your cards. So we've looked at so many cards that do well. Manager leagues, chem styles, fodder, low meta, mid meta. Diversify your cards, right? Let's say it is just overnight. There's no supply on the game. So you're doing the basic cards that do well on mass bidding, which is manager leagues and chem styles. Don't just look at one manager league or one chem style, right? Go and bid and try and win 30 Liga F cards, 30 Prem cards. Then go and win, 30 engine chem styles, 30 anchor chem styles, whatever it is, right? Add up whatever it is to about 100, go and win 100 cards, but diversify them across a couple different cards. You'll basically just get more sales and win more bids most of the time. Find a few cards that you really like doing this with, and honestly, you'll start to fly on the coins when you sort of get familiar with this method. Another crucial tip is bid war versus non-bid war. What do I mean by this, right? So say you're looking to do Hawks, which as we know, we'd want to win for about 500, 600 when we looked at before. You have two options of bids. You either go for bid wars or you don't go for bid wars, right? All I mean by a bid war is when you're bidding 150 coins and then someone else bids 200, you bid 250, they bid 300, you bid 350, right? That is always the way you will make the most profit on this method, but it is also so much slower. This is a personal preferencing, okay? If I went and bid 150 on all of these Hawks, right, I'd have to sit there when they're about to expire and go and bid war every single one of them. And you'll win a few for 200, 300. You'll win most of them for 500, 600, what you're going to try and win them for anyway. And you'll win maybe one out of 100 for, 150 coins at the minimum price. The second option is to, when you're going to mass bid, let's say you want to mass bid 600 coins maximum on these cards, right? Let's say that's what the price you've got in your head that you want to bid the absolute maximum. You would literally go and bid 600 coins on every single card, no matter what its start price is. Just go and bid 600 coins, like someone is clearly doing here. You can kind of see it on the screen, right? So go and bid 600 coins, no matter what the price is. This will be less, less profit per card, but you will win 99% of cards like this, and it's so much better in terms of time. So this is a personal preference thing. Maybe if you're more active on the game, you can do the first way, you can do bid wars, and if you're, you want to be a little bit less active, you can do the second method. Very quick tip that is super important is any card you win on bid, sell it after 24 hours maximum. Just some of these cards can come down in price, right? I think I said engine went up because the Pogba SBC. As less and less people, got that Pogba in their team or are completing that SBC, this might slowly start to fall in price. So maybe 1.6 is a good price now. It might be 1,000 coins after a couple days. So basically any card you bid, just look to get it gone by 24 hours maximum. And another great tip that doesn't just work for mass bidding, but it's just good for any trading in the entire game. When you're lazy selling 100 cards, do not press that R2 right trigger button and mass relist all if you want the most sales. I know it's easy, I know it's obvious, but especially if you've got 100 of the same card or 50 of the same card, what happens is when you mass relist a card, it all gets listed at the same time. No one ever buys a card on lazies that's been listed next to 100 other cards at the same price, right? They just don't do it. Whereas if you list one by one, right? So you literally go on each card, click on it, list one by one, go to the next card. So like in this example on silvers, right? You'd be doing this for mass bidding, but rather than relisting, I'll go on this guy, list him. Go to the next guy, list him. Go to the next guy, list him, right? I know it sounds like it's the exact same thing, but what's happening is when you're listing your cards, other people around the world will be listing theirs at different prices in between yours, right? So let's say you had two Hawks here and you were mass bidding on Hawks. When you list this one at 1.5k or whatever it is, right? Someone else around the world will list theirs at 3,000 coins. And then you list your second one at 1.5. And already they seem cheaper to someone who's buying them. Little bit of a psychological thing, but it always makes cards sell way better on lazies. Boys, there's the full mass bidding guide. Go and make 100, 200,000 coins in a couple of days. Go and start smashing it on a low budget. If you could leave a like on the video, if it does help you out, it does help me out. So I'd really appreciate that. You are all legends. And if you've got any questions whatsoever, comment them down below. Put them in the Discord, which is in the description. It's a free Discord. But more importantly, the best way to learn trading is coming over to the live streams over on Twitch and ask any questions there, because we go through methods like this live on stream with you asking questions about them. So it's a really good place to learn trading. And then finally, boys, if you want to possibly double your coins this week with investments and you're looking to invest rather than actually trade, check out yesterday's video. It's a market watch video. I don't know where it comes on screen, but go and check that out. We talk about everything coming this week, which is super, super crucial, especially if you're on a sort of higher budget there. Like always, boys, until next time, I will see you in a bizzle.